Hi guys, how are you? How are you? Happy Monday. It is a new week and it is a new Views from SwagHer Tower. I'm so glad that you guys could join me. My name is KB, your girl. So how you been? How was your week? What you been doing since the last time we saw each other? So today we have two awesome guests. We have Lucretia Haley and we have Nikki Walker following up second. And I wanted to go ahead and do a quick rundown so you guys know, if this is your first time watching Views from SwagHer Tower, what SwagHer Tower is all about. So I am the vessel that is going to bring to you so many great things and great people that know so many great things about awesome stuff. So that's me. I'm your girl that's going to introduce you to awesome people that know about awesome things, do awesome things, that are important people, that are just amazing people. Very encouraging, very building, uplifting, and to give you some knowledge just in case you have some questions on certain things, about your life, about certain careers, anything. So this week we have, like I said, Lucretia Haley, and she is here. Did you send me a request, Lucretia? A request to join? Let's see. Hi, Cretia.
Hey, can you see me? Oh, you know what? Hi. Hold on a second. There we go.
Hey.
I don't know why I had everything up and then it wasn't, I was listening to you and then it said pop up and then I'm like, I'm here. So
I'm so glad you could join me. Let me give you guys a quick rundown about Miss Lucretia Haley. She is an awesome, awesome person. I have also known her for a very long time. We are college friends. We are sorority sisters, good old CAU, good old
yes.
Zeta. She is a purpose journey coach. She's a podcast host. She is an author of Before the Husband, a 7-day devotional guide for single women pursuing purpose. And she is passionate about helping women. She is also, as an author and a life purpose journey coach, her life-defining moments have led her to activate her purpose and to see others, help others do the same. So to start out, I would like to say, again, so happy that you are here, but I want to know, and I want everyone to know, how is the view from where you're sitting right now?
Man, thank you so much, KB, for inviting me here. First off, I just want to say thank you to everyone watching. And if you're here, I'm just so excited tonight. The view from where I'm sitting and where I'm standing or where I am right now, when I thought about that question, it brought me to something of just basically this year of how 2022 has been, period, and how it took me on a journey of this whole year completely. And I feel like sometimes we get to last quarters of every year, but particularly this quarter, where we're getting to this, where we wish we should have done all the things and we didn't get to do it. And we feel rushed to I got to go, I got to push forward. I got to do this until, December, January is about to be here. And I told myself, I said, why? Why are you rushing? Why are you exhausting yourself so much to try to hit the mark, so hard, when really you can rest in this season. You can build up in this season. You don't have to be exhausted. You don't have to try to do everything, all the things, especially me being also a mom and a wife, and then also trying to run the business and then trying to still work whatever I'm doing, right? I don't have to hit the mark. And if I don't, that's okay. I think we have to be okay with that, because we're causing ourselves anxiety. We're causing ourselves depression. We're giving ourselves things where we don't have to. We're putting too much work and burden on ourselves when we have to say, you know what, sis? That's okay. Reach it when you can. Take a break, rest. So I'm living in rest in this view. Like, I'm living in rest. I'm a still build, but it doesn't have to be so much where I have to press go all of the time.
Oh, girl, I felt that. In my soul. Oh, my God.
Yes.
I promise you, if anybody sees this, they're going to feel the same way, because fourth quarter, that's it. That's all everybody talk about. Fourth quarter, let's finish strong. Let's, whatever you didn't get a chance to do, let's try to make it, a priority to try to get done before the end of the year, So to hear you say that, I know if it's a relief for me, it has to be a relief for somebody else, to hear that it's okay to slow down a little bit. It's okay to hit pause for a moment and not to break your neck in the fourth quarter. That's
Don't
dope.
break your neck.
I'm telling you that is the culture. Fourth quarter showdown. Everybody just
Yes, I do feel like people do that. I do feel like we run ourselves ragged for no reason at all. And I think we just have to really just know that it's okay to slow down. We don't have to make the mark. And if I know we're, especially if you're running a business, I gotta get the clients, I gotta get the sales, I gotta make the profits, right? Or you feel like you have to keep pushing and doing that. I get that. But sometimes if you just rest in that season, those things will happen. Those things will come. It's a stretch of faith, right? It's a stretch of just knowing that who's in control, that I'm not in control of this thing. Right. And so I had to come to grips with that. I'm telling y'all because I had to do it. And then that freed me.
Always better coming from a first-hand standpoint in the first place. Yeah.
So that's my view. And I'm sticking to it.
You know what? I promise you that's a good view. Me starting this, I didn't know what answers I was going to get for the first question. I just knew it was a question that had to be asked. And the answers that I've gotten so far, and you're only my third guest, have blew my mind. The answers are just crazy. Yes.
It's a good question. It's a good thinking question, because when I saw it, I was like, girl, hold on, give me a moment.
Girl, I be trying to get people to think. That's my thing. I want you to think a little bit.
Yep. Doing it. You did it.
Yep. Okay, so let's get into these questions, girl. So let's tell us about your company, Cree Speaks Life.
All right. So Cree Speaks Life, let me tell you, it's been going down since 2019. And I'm going to say that I didn't really know what it was going to become. I had no idea of what this would be. Of course, my name is in it, right? My name's Lucretia, so I put Cree Speaks Life. So to back it up a little bit, I used to write poetry. I was known for writing poetry and speaking to audiences with spoken word. I would start off with writing, and then somebody pushed me to actually recite it in front of audiences and things like that. So I started doing that. And then later on in life, people started telling me that I was supposed to speak. And I said, y'all lying. No. But that has been told to me plenty of times. And then after a career switch and things like that, I became an educator. And so, and I saw my life turning into speaker mode. And so Cree Speaks Life kind of was me always seeing the glass half full in people's lives. I always, when I reach people, when I talk to people, when I reach in audiences, I sense the crowd, I sense the audience, I sense when I'm in front of someone, I'm able to inspire and uplift. And so, and that was told to me by people. It wasn't, it was just me doing it, being inspired by God to do it. But people would actually tell me like, oh my gosh, your words spoke life to me. And I'm like, okay, so that's kind of honestly where it began, and it took this whole turn into what I'm doing now, which we'll get into later, but a whole turn into what I'm doing now, where I still do speak to youth. I still speak to kids. I love speaking to college students, high school students, and still inspiring the community and women and things like that. But it's just seeing how much growth it has been. So not only if I'm speaking life and audiences, it's through books, it's through me doing a live, it's right here, right now, it's those things that it's who I made up to be. So yeah, that's kind of how it started.
That's dope. Okay, so you are a purpose journey coach. Purpose journey coach. I keep butchering that. Goodness. What is a purpose journey coach?
All right, so I coined this phrase as my motto for Cree Speaks Life. It is, in every season of our life, it always points back to purpose. And the reason I did that is because in every season of my life, it always pointed back to what I'm supposed to be doing at that moment in time, and also where I'm supposed to be headed. Because as we know, purpose is a journey. It's not a destination. Sometimes we think that, okay, I get there, I'm good. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. Great. But no, you're forever evolving. You're forever changing. You're forever transforming. And so with that, I know that I'm able to help people in their journey as they reach from point A to B. And I saw myself actually doing that, kind of like what I spoke earlier. I saw myself doing those things in my careers, with my family, with friends. I'll be talking to somebody, a cashier at the grocery store, girl, and I'm just listening to their life, and I'm just like, look, do you really want to be here? And if you know what, I know what you could be doing, you know, and if you do want to be here, stay there, girl, or guy, stay there. You know, I always had that knack, but I've always saw where folks were and brought them to where they wanted to be. And that's where I knew the coaching began. Now, honestly, I never saw myself as a coach. I'm going to tell you right now, speaker, coach, all the things that I'm doing right now, didn't see it. But I allow God to move through me and allow the faith to move through me. And so with that, that's kind of how that starts. So now in this space that I'm in, I'm passionate, really passionate about helping women of faith rediscover their purpose before the husband and blossom in their marriage. And so it's still that purpose effect that I feel when I talk to a lot of women, especially when I coach them, they got the career, good. They got the business, great. They got the car, they got the house, they have everything there, but then there's a motive check. So why are you working so hard to get this thing? You know, what's happening here to where you feel this way? Why are you breaking those generational curses before you actually plan to invite somebody in your life? Is there a renewed vision that needs to take some action before you even think about dating again? Are you surrounding yourself in relationships right now that's pushing you towards purpose? Or are they failing you? You know, are they pushing you, or are they dropping you behind? Are you getting what you need in this life right now to even say, I'm ready to invite a guy in my life? And so that's kind of where this space is right now for me, where I love doing that. And I feel like it's a great space where I'm still talking about purpose, but now it's to like a group of people.
Speaking of, because you kind of hit on it, like I said,
Sure.
You are the author of Before
Yes.
the Husband, a 7-day devotional for single women pursuing purpose.
Yes.
So inside of that, you speak to single women about marriage, getting ready for marriage, and your purpose before, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, do you still think there is hope for people out in these dating streets? For people who want to be married, is there hope?
Man, is there hope? Yes, there is hope. Yes, there is hope. And I want to say this because I know it feels like it isn't. I know we've been getting the whole deal on, I scroll, I'm listening to podcasts, I'm watching people watch TV, all this stuff, and they're saying that dating is trash. Right? And then a lot of the married folk are like, I'm glad I'm not there no more. Like all the things.
Girl, that's me. I'm in that. That's my movement. That's my movement. My movement is I'm glad I'm not in that space because it's a struggle out here. I be watching and I be like, that's ghetto.
And listen, I hear the stories and I am blown away. My pearls are clutched every time. I'm like, what did he do? What did she say? All of the things, right? And I'm blown away by what's happening. But I believe right now we're living in different times where this is supposed to be happening. Like, I think we've been so into the strategy and the tactics of what we're used to, of what we've seen other people gain. So yes, they might have been married, but they got married that way. And so we're like, okay, let me copy paste and put it here. I feel like over time, it's been always where we were able to just do the same old thing and get the same results of getting married or getting the guy, so now I think it's a stretch for a lot of women and men out there where it's like it's reaching more so outside of comfort zone. So it's like now I have to actually switch my perspective of what I've known for so long. Now I got to switch it up. And you know how hard it is to switch up your perspective and go outside your comfort zone into what you knew you wanted. And now the whole pandemic then came and it messed up your whole dating game.
Yes.
And so it's so much. Yes. And so what I want to say is there's hope if you have hope. right? There's hope only if you do. I think what happens is we stop, and this is why I speak life. We have to begin to speak life to ourselves. Sis, bro, out there, if you're listening and you're single and you feel like there's no hope, you have to begin to start speaking hope and life to yourself. That means cutting off things that you're watching that may deter your view of what a positive marriage or relationship could look like, or not resharing posts and memes and things that speak on yourself when that's not what you want. So why would you share it? For me, since I'm a believer, I'm in the faith, I was always praying for the men out there that we're going through, because listen, I know a lot of sisters out there who are doing it big and they're not getting what they want in the dating scene when it comes far as men. It's a lack out there. I'm gonna say it's a lack out there, but that doesn't mean you stop praying. Doesn't mean you start believing that it can happen for you. And if so, and if you're still getting hurt or whatever it is, sis, it's time to take a pause. Don't, like I said, don't try to work yourself so hard because of your age, because of you feeling what you need to have right now, when it's a reward in this season right now. It's a reward to be single right now, to have all you can, to get all you need right now, to still find what you like about yourself, what you don't like about yourself. Because listen, the one reason I believe dating right now and singleness is hard right now is because marriage is hard. If singleness and dating is hard right now and people are being stretched, what do you think marriage is going to look like? What do you think it's going to look like? So in this stretching season, you got to figure out what is pulling you, tugging you, what's in your heart, what needs to be healed, what unforgiveness you still have, all the things that you have in your heart before you get married. So see it as a reward. See it as, this is my season where, I can still work on me. And I'm not talking about going to go get facial and makeup, go get your hair did. I'm talking about really doing the work.
Yes.
So that he can walk in purpose with you. You walking in purpose, sis, you need somebody who can walk in purpose with you as well. So yeah.
Good.
I know that was a big answer, but
No, but you know what? It was necessary because girl, I have been single for a very long time, but it's hard. And I think the way you're hearing it is the same thing I'm hearing it. Dating is trash. There's pee in the dating pool.
Yes, I've been hearing that too.
There's floaters in the dating pool.
Floaters. I didn't hear that.
Girl, I done heard everything about something being in the dating pool, and I think that your words are really going to encourage people, because everybody needs a little encouragement every now and then, because it's already hard enough out here. You're trying to get you're trying to be happy, you're trying to work on yourself, and you're trying to date, and you just get exasperated, and so no matter what you're doing, no matter what area in your life that you're putting your hands in, you need some encouragement. So I'm telling you, somebody out there I know is listening to you, like,
please grab it and hold on to it, because I needed that. I'm speaking to the women that I wish spoke to me, so I wouldn't have lost hope in the season, right? I needed somebody. What I'm saying, I needed somebody like that for me. So that's why I feel so passionate about it, because I needed that. So yeah.
Okay, so what is a single journey versus a single purpose journey?
So I kind of spoke about it a little bit before, but I believe also what's happening is that there's so many messages going on right now about what we're supposed to be doing and what we're not supposed to be doing, right? There's like, you need to stop, you need to pause, you need to press go, you need to go this, you need to do this, you need to run here, go over there, all the things, right? But I believe the message that we need to hear is that we need to be moving with intentionality of our lives. There's so many things we could tug at. There's a lot of people playing copy and paste, meaning that I like what they have, I see what they got, so I'm gonna copy what they did, and then I'm gonna put it in my life and try to see if I can get the same results, which is not gonna happen, right? Or it might happen, but it ain't gonna be fulfilling,
Right. So right, it's not gonna be what you thought it was, because it's not the same thing.
Exactly, because you don't even know what that person went through before you even try to copy them, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of times, if you're living with purpose, you're living with intentionality, which means that everything about you is purposeful. That means when you wake up, it's not just about a fly by night. It's not just, well, let me just live my day, have fun, but think about it, live with intentionality. What purpose do you have? What impact are you trying to make? Right? How are you trying to inspire? Are you living out your true passions? Are you stagnant on that? Are you really pressing go on some things that you know you should have, that God has told you that your calling was supposed to be, but you kind of said, oh no, wait a minute, I can't. But then, but you said you're gonna work with faith, right? But your faith is kind of depleted right now, so you don't know. But are you still living in purpose with everything that you're doing? Are you walking in purpose? So yes, be single, but be single with purpose. Be single with intention, so that you can date with intention, so that you can marry with purpose, and so that you can have a purposeful marriage. Because listen, we trying to break generational curses here. We trying not to do the same thing that, you know, our moms, our grandmothers, our great grandmothers did. We're trying to live past that, right? And the only way to do that is to actually wake up and be like, okay, I'm doing this different today. So let me do that. And then it'll help you have a clearer picture of who you need in your life, who you should be inviting into your life, and what kind of questions you can be asking to be able to sift them out, to know that, no, this is not about to be another situationship. I'm not doing that. This is marriage. I'm trying to do this thing right. Okay. Right. So yes. So that's what it is.
Yes. Okay. So I got you. You know, you schooling me. Like I said, I ain't been single for, you know.
I know.
What is it? Half a score, a quarter of a score?
A quarter? Wow, you know what took it back.
Girl, you know, knocking on 40. Next year I'll be 40. So
man, well, tell me how it is on the other side.
I'll let you know, girl. I'll send you a smoke signal.
Okay then.
Okay, so next question. Why did you write the Before the Husband ebook? You have an ebook.
Yes. So the Before the Husband devotional is an ebook. And so the reason why I wrote that, so for those who don't know, I've been married now 6 years. And so before I got married, I talk about this in my book about, I did not imagine marriage for me. It wasn't, you see me now, you might see me, oh, you got the kids, you have the husband, you live in the life, all that stuff. But there was a point in time where I did not see that. And I didn't see it because I didn't think I was worthy of it. I saw all the messages that was going on. I was running my business. I was doing everything. Had my career. I was doing me, all that was supposed to be. So why? Why do I need a guy? But really it was something else that I knew that was missing, that God had to implant in that desire in my heart for marriage. And so fast forward. So about 3 years into marriage, I've always tell my testimony of me waiting for marriage. Okay. Me waiting for my man of God and all these things. And so I remember posting online and had the pictures of our, wedding. I think it was our wedding anniversary. I can't remember too much, but it was us. And I got lots of likes and lots of views, all these things. And suddenly I started getting messages that day. And then after that from women like, sis, I need help. How did you do it? Like, how did you do it? Like, what are you doing? Like, how did you date? Because I'm meeting this and I'm meeting that. I'm not understanding. Like, can you show me? Can you tell me? Is there a blueprint? And I was like, well, and so later on, after talking to a couple of people, they're like, you probably should write something. And I was like, I ain't no author. Like, that's gonna take some work.
When it moves you, girl.
When it moves you. And so actually during the pandemic, I was pregnant with my son at the time, and I was like, okay, let me get going. Let me just go ahead and start. So, cause I was supposed to start sooner, like earlier than that, honestly. It was some time before I pressed go. So anyway, I started writing, and I started just putting my thoughts on paper, did not know what it would become. And then I was like, you know what? I cannot, not put in here how I got here. God brought me through this, everything that I do now. And so I cannot put in there. So that's kind of how it became a devotional. It was just going to be a story, and I was going to leave it. And then the teacher in me couldn't hold me back. So I had to make it more of a guide, more of a tell me what you think, and the reflection question. So what it did is it brought 7 areas of my life that wreaked havoc in my life, that kind of just, I needed to go through the conversations that I had with myself, the conversations that I had with God, and before marriage, like what was it? So it talks about healing. It talks about accountability and what that looks like in your life and your singleness. It talks about spiritual growth and spiritual gifts and career and finances, all of those things that I battled with, that checked my motives with. and that had to get me right before that. And I talk about how in a story about how I almost messed up and didn't marry my husband because of my thoughts, my thought pattern. And so, but it takes you on a journey of 7 areas that you can place in your life. And honestly, when I put it in, I said, sis, take away an area, add another area that you think you need to work on. This is my life. I'm just sharing it with you, but it takes you on a journey. And so from that book is what actually led me to coach, because a lot of the ladies were like, I need more. Can you help me? Girl, tell me how. I need you to work with me. And so so that's kind of what happened with the coaching as well, was where I kind of just we dive into the book a little deeper. We do a little bit more hard work so that we can get to where we need to be in singleness and things like that. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So we are running out of time. So really quick, I want to talk about your podcast, and then we're going to do your last question about your overall view. So tell me about your podcast, When Marriage and Purpose Collide.
So our podcast came about, a podcast When Marriage and Purpose Collide is with my husband. We started the podcast together. And initially I was on a group speaking to single women. And I was telling them about, what's going on. And they said to me, why is it that when folks get married, they just stop talking? And we don't hear back from them. So you got the post, you got the proposal, got showing your anniversaries, showing all the pictures, all the things, the wedding and all that, but we don't hear from y'all. What's going down? How do I know what's happening? How can I prepare for marriage? So long story short is my husband's an introvert, so I kind of had to drag him into it. But but I said, I need a man's perspective. I speak to women a lot. I don't know what men are thinking. So it would be helpful if you come on the podcast and we kind of have a bounce back of things. So the podcast is essentially meant for singles who are preparing for marriage. So we talk about a lot of our life and marriage, what we did before dating, and we bring guests on to talk about different subjects that can also help in singleness as you prepare for marriage. So yes, it's on Apple and Spotify. And yeah, it's our 2nd season now. So I'm super excited. So.
Good. Again, that is When Marriage and Purple.
Hey.
When Marriage and Purpose Collide podcast.
Yes.
Okay,
that is.
The closing question, my favorite question, is everyone always like to celebrate the picturesque view when you get to where you are at the top, but nobody really talks about the journey and what you saw, your view on the way up. So can you reflect really quick on what you saw on your way up till you got to where you are now, to where you can be restful?
Where it can be restful. It takes, to me, as I thought about that, it takes accountability. What I saw in myself is each stage of my life to get me to where I am today. I did not do it on my own. I had to lean on others to support me and allow that to happen. I had to get therapy, in order to be where I am today, so that I can be able to rise to the occasion, because there was one point where my anxiety got too much for me, and you wouldn't see me here right now. Right. And so it took me inviting people in my life that I knew supported me, which is friends, families, the people that I need to push out of my circle, people that I need to add to my circle, so that I can get here to where I am. And it renewed my vision so that I could be able to press forward in what I'm doing, and people to tell me you need to rest. So I got that from people speaking to me about you need to rest. So, yeah.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that you were able to come on here and talk to me. Really quick, tell everyone how they can find you and where they can find your stuff.
Sure. You can find me at www.lucretiahaley.com. It's my name. It's Lucretia Haley.com. And you can catch me on Instagram, right? Lucretia M. Haley. And I'm also on Facebook as well. If you need coaching, you need the book, whatever it is, contact me. I'm your girl.
Thank you, Lucretia. I'm so happy you were able to come here, and I will be talking to you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Love you, girl. I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
That was awesome. Okay. I be trying to open it up for questions, and we just be going so hard that I don't even ever have time for questions. But we are going to get Miss Nikki Walker in here, and we are going to have some fun with Miss Nikki. Y'all got to excuse me. I'm a fangirl. I love this woman.
You're so silly.
Forever. It has
I'm
taken
so
forever.
glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, I'm so glad you came. I'm
Yes.
so glad you came. Let me tell y'all about Miss Nikki Walker. I have not met Miss Nikki in person, but me and her have been Facebook friends for years.
At least 10 years.
Yes, for
That's
years.
crazy.
I
We have
have,
not hugged each other.
I know, and I want to so bad.
Me too.
Like, we have been friends for so long. I have followed her come up, like everything, like for the longest. And I adore her. Like, I'm seriously fangirling. Like, when I love my friends, I love my friends. And she is one of my favorites. So I love her to death. I'm seriously fangirling.
Yes.
Fangirling. Okay. So Miss Nikki is going to spend some time with us and we're going to talk about some things. And I want
All
to
of the
let you guys
things. All of the things.
all of the things. We're going to introduce you properly because you're Miss Nikki Walker. You are Director of Community Engagement and DE&I of Domo. Domo is a tech company that brings everything about your business and puts it in your phone and makes it convenient for you. You started out as a PR person.
I
That's how
did.
we ended up like meeting, and that was the thing that was in common for us. So how did you go from public relations into tech? There are not a lot of brown girls in tech.
Girl. There are like this many brown girls in tech. And I'm super grateful. My tech journey started with an invitation from somebody who I consider an ally. And at the end of the day, in any business, my puppy is trying to get into this conversation. But at the end of the day, in any business, women need allies. And a brown man opened the door to tech for me. And I took the leap and I've been here ever since. Now, let me be very clear. I don't do anything technical, but tech companies are just companies that also require marketing and management and copywriting and advertising and PR and all of those things. And I was really fortunate to land in a space that encompassed community and diversity, equity, and inclusion. And those things are really my passions. So I'm super fortunate not only to be in tech, but to be in tech moving the culture forward. And not just the Black culture, but the culture of you know, the majority of people who live on this earth. It is moving those cultures forward, and I'm really grateful.
Awesome, awesome. That's awesome that you said an ally. Like those are important. We don't actually talk enough about that. Like
You're
I
right.
think I think I'm gonna focus on that one day because we really don't talk about that enough.
We don't, but at the end of the day, and I used to say this all the time, people who are those that are underserved don't have a voice. And if they do have a voice, it's very unlikely that the powers that be are interested in hearing that voice. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you are underserved, you are under resourced. And if you are under resourced, you are underrepresented. And so the only thing that matters to the powers that be is that those who they represent can move them forward. And if you don't
Mm-hmm.
have that voice, if you don't have that kind of amplification, then your voice, is shallow at best.
Yeah.
And when we have allies who go before us, whether that is a man or a white man or a Black man or a white woman, because let's be
Mm-hmm.
clear, Black women, we are at the bottom of the rung. We are at the bottom of the rung. Not only are we women, but we are Black women. And so that really puts us in a space that is unique to anyone else. And, I love to hear people talk about how they understand our plight, but you can't understand the plight of a Black woman unless you're a Black woman. But shout
Mm-hmm.
out to our allies who recognize that and who take responsibility and say, we have to amplify these voices. And that is the bottom line of an ally. An ally is supposed to amplify voices. And I'm really fortunate in Utah and beyond to have allies who continue to amplify my voice and to continue to give me a platform so that I can share things that are unknown to the majority.
Awesome. Let me backtrack because I skipped my signature question. Like I have to start like that. So how is the view from where you are currently?
So the view from where I am currently is promising. It's
Mm-hmm.
promising. There are, and just for a little focus point, I am from Jersey City, New Jersey, and I live in Lehigh, Utah. So I moved from the most diverse city in the whole country to a place that is very homogenous and not used to shakeup, not used to change, not used to seeing Black people in the grocery store, not having to interact with Black professionals or brown professionals. My son and I came through here and shook it all the way up. And there
Mm-hmm.
are other leaders and other pioneers who are pioneering the idea of diversity, equity, and inclusion here in Utah. And so I say all that just for sort of a leveling point. But what I want to say is that in Utah, the Black community and the brown communities here, we are small but mighty. We are small but mighty. And there are some soldiers who are ensuring that the work gets done. Because, you could do a lot of talk about what needs to happen with inclusion and diversity and belonging. But are you doing it to wave a flag, or are you doing it to actually incite impact?
Yeah.
And there are so many people here who are really being intentional so that their impact matters. And so the view from here is just a view of me looking down, holding my hand out, bringing up other sisters and brothers who look like me and who have hearts like me. And our heart is for the community, whatever community that is. And so from up here, it just looks like a bunch of superstars on their way to the top. And I'm so grateful to be a rung in that ladder, right? To be like, here's the next rung, let me help you, whatever that looks like, or how, whatever that means. So the view from here is pretty dope, because especially in Utah, there are groups of people who are recognizing that their uniqueness is their superpower, and we
Mm-hmm.
can actually make changes here. And this is like Utah is like an unfounded gem for all people, not just for Black people, but I happen to be a Black woman. And for me, I have found a space that is welcoming, whether they like it or not. They're going to welcome this girl.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm opening doors for other people to be welcome, and I'm grateful.
I'm grateful that you are. Like I'm watching you, girl. I'm always watching you. I listen to your speeches and the snippets and stuff. Like you really doing it. Like, they wasn't ready for you, girl. They wasn't ready. They was not ready. I promise you. I promise you, there has to be at least 10 people that you have touched that says every day, I'm so glad that woman came to Utah.
Man, that
I
just
know.
warms my heart, the thought of that. And
That
you
has
know
to be.
what? And people are so kind and honest and open that people say things like that to me, and it blows my freaking mind every single time. Somebody sent me an inbox on LinkedIn yesterday on a Sunday and was like, I don't know if you remember, but 3 years ago we were in a fire drill together. And I remember this conversation we had during the fire drill, and I've been watching you ever since. And I'm just grateful for you being in the community. What?
What? A
What?
fire drill?
And I
Wow.
remember the fire drill. That's the head crack. I remember exactly who that
Wow.
person is. I remember exactly what we talked about and had zero clue that it would make an impact on anybody's life. And here 3 years later is this message in my inbox. And again, like, this is just divine intervention. It is God putting people in places where they belong.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree. I agree. Okay. So hard to stick to the script, girl, because I just want to talk to you. Okay, so I've seen clips of your speeches where you speak on inclusion in communities. In this current climate where inclusion is is a big thing discussed, but can often have a little pushback, whether it's direct or subtle. How do you maneuver and stay focused on your end goal?
I'm Nikki Walker. And scene. No. No.
Good.
No, I'm
You
Nikki
got my
Walker. And
background
because
now.
I'm Nikki Walker, I've had the opportunity to be exposed to so many different people. So many people from different backgrounds, from different socioeconomic circumstances, from different ethnic spaces, all of those things, right? And as a communications professional, you asked me earlier, like, how did I make that transition from PR into tech? Well, people are people. And
Mm-hmm.
I learned how to communicate in a way that most people just never have the opportunity to get to. They don't have the need to get to the place where I had to get to in terms of communicating with people. So when I decided 5 years ago to move to Utah, and all my family were like, it's 0.13, like it's 1.3% Black people there. What are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to be with the people. I'm going to find my people. And my people aren't Black, aren't white, aren't, Native, they're everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because the message is not my message, right? The message is not my message. So I don't have to overcome any hurdles. The message that I am here to share is a message of inclusion and belonging. And that's the message of the Lord. And I really believe that I'm doing God's work. And it's in a way that doesn't consider who you worship. It doesn't consider where you work. It doesn't consider where your ancestors came from. What it
Mm-hmm.
considers is that we are all parts of the human race. And we can take, that could be a whole 2-hour conversation in and of itself. But at the very bottom line, we all belong to the human race and we all belong to God. And we have to figure out a way to get directly to that. Because once we get directly to that, the message is so amplified. It is the message. It's the message. So I don't worry about, I don't worry about pushback. People have pushback and I got comedy, honey. I will roast you. I will roast you real quick and you will circle back around and have nothing but respect for what I have just said. Because that happens to be my angle. My angle is that I'm personable and I know my ish. So you can
Mm-hmm.
come for me if you want to, but I'm going to hit you with stats and figures and facts and reasons why
Mm-hmm.
doing the right thing is the right thing for you and for your company. And that's just the leg I stand on.
That's awesome. Ugh. I'm in love with
You
you.
silly.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Look, y'all gotta excuse me. Like, oh my
Look
God.
at my
Okay.
sister Skyhook in the comments. I can't. I can't. You don't
Um,
understand what it is for this moment for me, sis. I'm so grateful to you. Like, please keep fangirling because there's so many of y'all that I fangirl over. And I see what y'all are doing. And I'm like, what am I doing with my life? And if you to call me and be like, sis, come talk to my people. I'm so grateful. I'm
the
so grateful.
audacity of you to question what you are doing with your life.
Y'all be doing the most. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, girl. That make me want to lace up my shoes and go for a run after this. I feel like I ain't like if you are questioning, girl, I need to go take a walk, or run, a
You
jog.
don't need
Like
to
I
take a
need to.
walk. We need to have a symposium on imposter syndrome. That's what we all need to do
I
because
do.
it's real
Front
and it's
row.
here in our lives. And if you don't wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, are they going to find me out? Then I have nothing but respect for you because every morning I wake up and I'm going, oh my God, they going to find out I'm a fraud. And I know I'm not.
Girl,
And I know
girl.
I'm not. But it's this thing that as a woman and as a Black woman, it has been programmed into me that I
Mm-hmm.
am not enough, or that I am
Yep.
not who I say I am, or that I'm not good enough to get to the next level.
Yep.
I know I ain't preaching to myself right now. I
No,
know
you're
that
not.
so many of us feel that way. And I want to say it out loud because if anybody looks at me and says, look at what she's doing, I want you to know that I'm also looking at what I'm doing. And most times, I am doubting and wondering and hoping and praying. And it just is what it is. That is just an unfortunate part of being a successful woman of color right now, because the programming that we have gotten since the cradle says that we ain't supposed to be here. We're
No,
not
ma'am.
supposed to be on a live right now interviewing one another. We're not supposed to be edifying our community. We're not supposed to be doing any of these things. And those things hit hard, and they cut us hard when we were growing up, and we learned these things and we heard these things. And it is very difficult to heal thyself. But that's our responsibility. We got to figure it out.
Okay, so you speak on standing in your power and leading from the heart. So how can you expand on that and talk about how you apply it to your life?
Very similarly to the conversation that we were just having. Like, standing in your power is just that. Understanding that you didn't get to the space you're in because you're Black. You didn't get to the space that you're in because you're a woman. You got to the space that you're in because you busted your behind and you did the research and you made sure you were prepared and you showed up your best self. All of those things are the reason, right? So when you're standing in your power, you're standing in this understanding of who you are. And oftentimes we don't do that. And it is just imperative, not for us, but for our daughters, for our granddaughters. At this point, I'm 45 years old. I could very easily have a granddaughter. Hallelujah that I don't. Thank you, Lavish J. I'm going to let you hold on till you turn 30, son. But at the end of the day, we have young women, young Black women who are going to grow up under our shadow. And we need to be able to ensure that we are pouring into them the right tea, okay? We need to be giving them the right tea, not the piping hot tea that's going to make somebody laugh or snatch a wig or some edges. No, we need to be pouring in the tea of prosperity. We need to be pouring into them the tea of love and guidance. We have to. There's a whole generation between us that like missed all the shits. They missed everything. I don't know what is going on, but we have the opportunity now to circle back around and say, no, baby, come this way. Come over here. Let us show you how to be a boss-ish, a boss chick, a this, a that. Let us show you how to do it the right way, not through somebody else's pocket, not through somebody else's bank account, not through sharing your body with people who don't deserve it. Like, let's stop. Let's stop. We need to pour the tea of devotion and expansion and grace into our women. And so standing in your power is all of those things. It's all of those things. And leading with the heart, you know, in corporate America has this really this reputation of being very crude and very cold. And culture in companies starts with management. And so people who are managing other people have to lead with empathy, because otherwise you miss all of the incredible pieces that come from people when they are allowed to bring their authentic selves. And when they know that their manager is authentically empathetic and can really put themselves in their shoes, you take some walls down, and you can bring yourself, and you can be your best, and you can be the asset for the company that we all wake up in the morning wanting to be. Whether it's our own company or a company we work for, we want to be the best asset where we are. And in order to do that, leadership has to step in, and they have to lead with empathy. And we need to embrace that as well as we're on our reign to the top, wherever it is that we're going. We always need to lead with empathy, because you don't know when you're coming back down that ladder. That's another story for another day, honey. But I done been up and down and up and down, and now I'm headed back up, and I'm really excited about it. But there are some lessons that you learn when you're coming up and down them rungs. And the biggest lesson that I can share is that you always got to lead with your heart.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
It's real.
It is. It's real. Girl, you gave me so much to think about. Ooh, I should be Look, I'm telling you, between you and my line sister, like I felt like I should have gave y'all an hour apiece.
I'm gonna need
Cause
you to put us in contact via text message. Thank you, because I need her in my whole life. I watched that whole interview, and all I was hallelujah and amen. So I'm gonna
I
need
saw
her
you
in
in
my
the
life,
comments,
and I'm gonna
girl.
need her in my inbox. Thank you.
Girl, she is awesome. I have known her for a really long time. She is so sweet and she's so nice and she's so dope. But
And
I would
she's so
definitely,
introspective and so
yeah,
wise.
yeah. I promise, I connect y'all. Okay,
Awesome.
so next question: what is your favorite and most challenging thing about community engagement?
My favorite thing is bringing people together. Um, So if you don't know about Utah, this won't make sense. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of background. BYU is the University of the Latter-day Saints. And that is a religion, and it is the primary religion here in Utah. And the religion itself is primarily European white people. So there are a group of Black students who go to BYU who don't see themselves anywhere on that university ever. This is a prestigious school. This is, this is not like run of the mill. This is very prestigious school. And they don't see themselves. And so some of them started a group called the Black Menaces. And if you're not familiar, I advise everybody to look up the Black Menaces on TikTok. They have gone viral many times. And how they started was kind of going around with a microphone asking white students questions about diversity, equity, and inclusion at BYU. And they've since expanded to other colleges, but they are a phenomenal group of people. And when they started their TikTok, somebody from like California sent me the TikTok. Do you know these kids? And I knew a couple of them. And long story short, I commented in their TikTok and said, if you need an auntie, I'm in Utah County, holla at me. And Lord, did my inbox blow up. So what
Uh-oh.
ended up from that was Spike Lee and Soul Food. So I had about 20 or 25 Black students from Brigham Young University come to my home, and we watched School Days, and I had a soul food dinner for them. And that is like, I might cry. One of the
It's
highlights of me
beautiful.
being in Utah, like pulling these future leaders together and being like, you are not here by yourself.
Mm.
You belong in Utah. And there are Black people here, and there are white people here, and there are brown people here, and everybody here who want you to be successful. And I brought in 5 or 6 professionals from across the valley to come and talk to them and support them and talk to them about who they could be and what they need. And just the ripple effect from that, Lord, the ripple
Girl, you got me
effect
about
has
to
been
tear up.
tremendous. It's
You
been
got me about to tear up.
tremendous. And so this bringing together of community that is so fractured here, and fractured because of geography mostly. But
Mm-hmm.
you also got nonsense and whatever, but mostly because of geography, and knowing that I was able to kind of pull all that together and bring these professionals to meet these Black students and give them internships and give them direction. And like, it's my favorite thing about community here. Our community is small but mighty. And if you call folks into action, they out here. They in these streets. They gonna make sure it's so gangster. It's so
That's what's up.
gangster. The Black
That's what's up.
community here is just, it is that kind of family. It's very New York to me. It feels very Jersey. It feels very much like you grow up and it's your job to take care of the people around you. And that's what our community does here. So that's my favorite thing. That's my favorite thing about the community.
Oh, that's awesome, girl. You got me over here tearing up. I,
Me too. I'm like, I wasn't supposed to cry on this interview.
and to think you sit up here and you question yourself and this huge impact that you made. Do you know how long them kids gonna be talking about you? Their kids gonna be talking about you.
They better carry on.
But I know you made such a huge impact. Like that's leading
So
with your
good.
heart.
So good.
Leading with your heart. Okay, so we've already kind of talked about this. You were previously on the East Coast. You're a Jersey girl. What does it mean to be Black in Utah? You kind of touched on it a little bit, but for you outside of community, what does it mean to be Black in Utah?
You know what it means to be Black in Utah? It means to be gritty, and it means to be intentional, and it is to be productive. Because we are so few in numbers, if we want to maintain community, these are the things that we have to be. We have to be intentional, we have to be productive, and we just got to be on purpose. That's what it means to be Black in Utah. Like, forget all of the other things that you could, tack onto it. Oh, I stand out in a crowd. Oh, people will listen to me because X, Y, and Z. No, forget all of that. What it means to be Black in Utah is to have one of the strongest communities that I've ever belonged to. And it is so purposeful and so loving and kind and generous. Being in this group of Black people is so generous, because if I have resources, I will be sharing them with you, because they are yours to have. And I didn't gain these resources for me to hoard them. I gained them so that I could share them with my community. And that's what it means to be Black in Utah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so this is our last question. Unfortunately, this is our last question. I like to close on a positive note. Like the first question that I asked you about your view. People normally don't talk about the struggle. Not to glorify the struggle, but on your way up, what was your view like before you got to where you are now? What did you see on your way up?
It was dark, scary, and sad, because when you don't know who you are, you don't know that there are resources, and you think that the only resource you have is you. And let me tell you something. If you want to go, there's an African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to go fast. I just wanted to get out of poverty. And going fast, that ain't the way. Go far. Like, go far. My view on the way up was, it's triggering to think about. It was difficult, and there were no hands reaching back down. And it was scary. But it's where you prove yourself. The way up is where you prove yourself, because everybody's view on the way up is not going to be mine. Some people are going to have folks that are going to reach out. It's not going to be mine. That just happened to be mine. But you know what I did in the midst of those nightmares that I was working through and living through? I kept praying and I kept moving. Like, as long as you keep moving, the only way to the other side is through. The only way to the other side is through. You can't get over it. You can't get under it. You got to go through it. And it's going to be hard and harsh and scary and fiery and all of the adjectives. Move on through, sis. Move on through, baby bro. You got this. Because the only reason you know what's on the other side is because God gave you the vision. And he don't give us a vision without the resources to get to the vision.
That's true.
Through. Don't worry about what it looked like to me. It was shitty. Might not look like that for you, but it's going to be hard. Just know the only way is through.
Oh, that's a great way to close. Nikki, please tell everyone where they can find you and your phenomenal self.
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Nikki Walker PR, and LinkedIn, my new favorite social media site. I'm just Nikki Walker PR on LinkedIn. So please come follow me, send me a message. Let's connect. Let's be a part of each other's lives. Let's see what we could do to continue to move the culture forward.
Yes. I vouch for her 110%. I do, 110%. Thank you, Nikki. I'm so happy that you decided to do this with me. I'm so happy, and I know somebody was watching and listening, and you got them all stirred up because that's your thing, and you are good at it.
I hope so. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for sharing this platform with me. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to, be Nikki Walker or whatever. And we should do this more often, like on
We
FaceTime,
really
just me and
should.
you.
We really should. We really should. Thank you for inviting me to be a part of your one-on-one, because like I said, we've been watching each other for so long. We might hit each other here and there,
Yeah.
talk a little bit in the comments, but we've never really had a full-fledged conversation. Share the secret here and there, but
So
we haven't
dope.
really had a conversation. And I'm very grateful that you decided to do this. Like, this is the highlight of my week, and it's only Monday.
Thank you, sis. I'll be
All right,
watching.
girl. Get on out of here, girl. Get on out of here. We'll be talking. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Ah, that was so awesome. Okay, guys. So that was another Views. And it's 8 o'clock. Right on time, baby. 8:03. I'm so glad you guys could join me. I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed both my guests, Lucretia and Nikki. And I hope you guys look for them, follow them. Like I said, they are amazing people. If you haven't gotten enough of them to let you know that they are amazing people here, wait till you see what they do outside of a 25-minute interview. You will be amazed. You will be stunned. You will be inspired, just like I am. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. We do every other Monday for Views. So I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Y'all enjoy your Monday. Bye, guys.